totally willing to admit when I've been overly optimistic, and I think maybe I was overly optimistic this weekend when we got this out. Little optimism never hurt anyone. So let's look at habit number 8. Habit number 8 of pro goalies is they pay attention, they look after the details. So, you know, as you get to a higher level, everybody's doing the big stuff. Whether they're doing perfectly or not, that's another issue, but they're doing the big stuff. They're working out, they're doing some sort of stretching program, but the top tier goalies, the top pro goalies, they're spending time working on their hand-eye. And I don't mean juggling. If I see one more Instagram video of somebody juggling, saying, being a better goalie while I'm stuck at home, there's so many other things you can do that actually will translate onto the ice. Juggling is good. It's good for kind of working dexterity, but it's a motor pattern that you have to learn. It's sort of like saying, I'm practicing my guitar to become a better goalie. It's teaching you motor patterns, but it's not actually translating per se onto the ice. So let's look at some stick handling things, some hand-eye training things we can do. Even just learning your game better. You know, watching games on TV, watching what pro goalies are doing, paying attention to that. Forking up to get a prescription to Ingoal Mag Premium where they have those pro reads where goalies walk you through what they're thinking, why they're doing that. And they think it's like $5 a month. So, they're little details. We're going to head down into the lab because I don't think we're going for a ride today. We're going to head down into the lab and work on a bit of hand-eye stuff. So for this rule, we're focusing on hand-eye. And if you want to see why I don't actually love juggling for training your goalie-specific hand-eye, or why exactly you have to wear your glove, or wear your glove if at all possible when you do your hand-eye training, I'll go into depth in the YouTube video. The YouTube videos are going to be more deep dives. Instagram TV is just for those of you who just want to get and just do the drills and you don't care why. So we'll head to YouTube, we'll go in a deep dive, then I'll come back for you guys on IGTV and I'll just show you the stuff. So I'm not saying you're a bad person if you juggle. I'm not saying you can't juggle. I'm not saying juggling isn't fun and that juggling isn't hard. I'm just saying it probably isn't the best way, I'm actually saying it isn't the best way for you to develop hand-eye coordination the way you need it on the ice. So if we just take a time to think about this, if I'm juggling, what makes me successful at juggling? Is it my ability to follow the ball in the air and get my hand where it needs to be? Not so much the way most of you do it. It's really a test of how good am I at throwing the ball so that it comes down in a predictable and consistent pattern. When I see a bunch of you juggling, and I see a lot of videos on Instagram this week, like getting better at home, and you're juggling and even juggling 3 balls. The movement of your hands is kind of here. Now, if you see some people, who do a fantastic job. Josh at Hand Eye Coaches does a great job of this, and if you were like maybe juggling wide and juggling narrow and, doing movement, well, maybe then there's something to it. But juggling is just learning a motor pattern and being able to run that motor pattern. A lot like playing the guitar is learning a motor pattern and being able to run that motor pattern. So it's very hard when you start, but is it really challenging your hand-eye coordination or just challenging your ability to find that pattern? So that's my take on it based on my experience, based on my understanding of the science. If you love juggling, juggle your face off. Go for it. I'm not going to say anything about that. When we get to, some people too have the lights at home, and so the light's up and you touch it. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. There's always good, better, best. I think simpler is often better. And then too, does this look like what I need to do on the ice. Identifying a light and touching it is a little different from picking up an object, tracking it, and positioning your hand to catch it. They're two different motor tasks. So I think those lights have some value. I like them when they're added in movement. I saw a goalie coach posted a video where his goalies, they were mounted to the boards actually, and his goalies had to, slide into position to tap it. And it added that element of movement and that read and react. It wasn't, so I don't think they were doing it so much like, oh, I'm working hand-eye training. It's like I'm working my body dexterity training, my agility training in an unpredictable pattern. So I really liked it for that application. But for just, tapping the light, I'm sure it has some part, but it's not, in my opinion, not the best way to go. Why you should always, if possible, wear your glove when you do your hand-eye training. It's something that I, and a lot of you, have known this forever. You're like, duh. But I really discovered it maybe a year or two ago because I was practicing my hand-eye outside. And I was, throwing and catching with my bare hands. And I was actually really good at it. But I know from experience on the ice that I have a lot of pucks bouncing off. I actually cleaned my glove a little bit, but I'll have tons of marks down in here and a lot of pucks bounce out. Now, a lot of times they'll bounce out of harm's way, and I joke with some of the guys I play with that I should really just wear a boxing glove, because I'm more batting the pucks out of the way. So when I was doing that hand-eye with my bare hands, and I was really good, it was like, that's weird, like, it must be my glove's fault. So I went and got my glove and put it on, and then sure enough, the ball started bouncing out of my glove again. And then I looked at it kind of to give it a talking to, like, why you make me look so bad out there? It's all your fault. And then I realized when I looked at my glove and where the middle of my hand was located when it was in my glove, it was here, sort of in the heel of the glove, not up here, where I really need to position my hand. So when I am teaching myself by catching off the wall with my bare hand that my hand should be here to catch an object, well, that's a faulty motor pattern. Really, my hand should be here to catch an object that I want to get up here when I'm on the ice. So that's why we want to practice, using your glove. It's like, a baseball player isn't going to go out and do batting practice with a short bat. That would throw off their timing and throw off their touch. So same goes for us. So that's why I don't really love juggling, although you can do it if you really like to do it. Why I really feel like you should wear your glove anytime you can when you're doing your hand-eye training, and how I feel about those light-up thingy-doos. Now let's talk about some of the tools that you can use at home and a few different ways that you can use them. Because if we also just keep doing, the same thing over and over that we're really good at, well, now we're just practicing what we're good at, and we're not really investing the time to get better. So we have to move out of our zone of comfort and expand what we can do. So let's bring IGTV back into this. We'll go over some of the tools, and then of course we'll get into some specific drills that you can work on. So some of the simplest things are just lacrosse ball, tennis ball, racquetball, ping pong ball, whatever you have at home. I actually like a racquetball. It comes off the wall pretty quick. It's not so heavy, so it's not going to damage the wall, but it could mark the wall, so you have to be careful with that. If you're using a lacrosse ball, you need to have a pretty solid wall. You don't want to be throwing that against drywall, or you're going to leave marks and dents. So those are some of the basic tools. These are other ones that I really like. This is the lava ball, and this one is called the moon ball. I got this one at Sport Check, and I ordered this one on Amazon. They're made by the same people, but the cool thing about it is they're super light. They come off the wall really quick, and they also don't make a whole bunch of noise. So when I throw it, against the wall, and that's a hollow wall, it's pretty light. This moon ball is kind of cool. Same type of material, but it comes off on a slightly unpredictable angle. Not as crazy as using the reaction ball, and I'll show you that in a second. Sometimes the reaction ball just like, you know, shoots way off. But this has little sort of different kinds of texture, so it'll come off just a little bit unpredictable, and I like that part of it too. The lava ball is super cool because when you use it outside, this turns different color. It turns like red because it's got lava in it, so duh, obviously. Couple other ones. This is about the density of a lacrosse ball. It's a cue ball. It has and then it has some flat surfaces as well, so it comes off a little bit unpredictable, but it also has numbers on it. So then the idea is you're going to try to pick up the number as you catch it. You can do the same thing. At Revolution, I would always write, you know, I might have a whole bucket of balls that have different numbers on them, or you could write, you know, one number big on this side, one number big on that side, here and here, so that you're having to sort of pick it up as it comes at you. This is a reaction ball. This is one that's made by Spark. I don't even know that Spark is around. Nike bought it, and I don't know whatever happened to it. But it's just another kind of reaction ball, and it has little symbols on it. It has some symbols and some numbers. They always have been so small that it's been really hard to see, because this thing come at you spinning. Even on this ball, when you write a big number, it's pretty hard to pick up because the ball's spinning. But you know, that's nice and unpredictable as well. Then we get into my favorite tool for hand-eye training, which is called the catch ball. And my friend Dusan Shador showed me this in Colorado last year at the Global Goaltending Retreat, and so I had actually already ordered some, and they were being shipped while I was in Colorado with him, and then he gave me a lesson. The video's up on YouTube somewhere, but it's my favorite tool because number one, I don't have to chase a ball all over the basement because I miss it a lot. And we'll go over some ways to use it differently, because people are like, well, the ball just comes back to the same place every time. That's easy. It isn't easy, and I'll show you some ways that you can make all of these things a little bit harder. So one of the simplest things you can do is even just go outside and play catch. You know, have somebody do a little bit of long toss just wearing your glove. Inside the house, as long as you have a wall that you can throw a ball off of and you're not going to mark it and you're not going to dent it, you can just do throw and catch off the wall until you get really good at that. Try to get an upward trajectory on that ball. So if you throw the ball so that it hits the wall, then bounces off the floor and comes back to you, that's going to be an upward trajectory, rather than throwing it at the floor and then it hits the wall, and then it kind of comes almost in a little bit looping arc. So if you throw here, boom, and then it comes back to you. So whichever way you do it, try to practice, and it's hard because I'm just worrying about trying to catch the ball, but try to practice, you know, kind of moving into the direction of the ball, following the ball right into your glove, not sort of, you know, reaching for it with your hand, but trying to get your body in front of it. So a whole bunch of that was cut out, but you can only imagine how much chasing I had to do with the ball, which is why I like the catch ball, because it's attached to. So when you put this on, you attach the little buckle on the side, on your glove side. Then you throw the ball with an underhand toss, kind of right by your hip, and you sort of give it a little bit of a flick. And then same thing, you're gonna lean your body into it a little bit and follow it right into the pocket of your glove. Let's see how many tries it takes me to get even one. So, yeah, somebody's going to comment, oh yeah, but the ball just comes back to the same place every time. That makes it so easy. Okay, well, we can make it harder. So we can do this with any of the other implements that we talked about. We can start by leaning away. So imagine maybe I'm just looking, the puck's behind the net, now it's out front and here comes a shot. So I'm going to be here looking away, and then boom, there goes the shot, and now I have to come back around and catch the ball. Maybe just my glove is way out of position, so I'm going to put my glove behind my back, which hopefully it would never be, but have my glove behind my back, and then not bring it out until I've released the ball and then catch it. I can always wear my mask, because you know that our mask changes sort of our field of view. So we'll fire on our mask. I think this is a really good idea anyway. And then work on that hand-eye. When I have my mask on, I don't usually do this if I'm not wearing my mask, or if I don't have swivel vision goggles on, or just some kind of thing to protect my eyes. But now I've put this up above my chest. This will get wild, I won't catch any of them, but and I kind of throw the ball so that it bounces like just almost at the extent of the string. So I throw it so it bounces, boom, and then I try and get my body in front of it. So it's one of those like handcuffing shots that comes right up by your ear. And if you, or what I do sometimes is I try to put my glove there, but then I end up leaning my body away. So what I try to teach myself, and if your goalie coach tells you something different, let me know, I'd love to hear it. But what I try to do is teach myself not to lean away and get my glove there, but to try and get my glove there and lean into it. So then even if I don't catch it, which I usually don't, it's hitting my shoulder or hitting my glove, and at least I'm doing something with it. So we'll throw it, boom, and then it comes back. Missed that one. So you can see it definitely isn't just coming back to the same place every time. Some are going low, some are going high, depending on where it lands. Another little tool you might want to use is swivel vision goggles. So they just take out your periphery so that you have to turn your head more to see where the ball is going and to track the ball. So another really nice tool that you can use, a nice to have, not a need to have. With the balls that have numbers on them, you can add an element of movement to it or a reaction to it. So maybe if it's when you throw it, you try to pick up a number as it's coming towards you. Let's say I see the number 2 when I catch it. Okay, a number 2 maybe is going to be an RVH to my right. Maybe any odd number or even number is going to be an RVH to my right. Any odd number is going to be an RVH to my left. Or, you know, it could be, if it's an odd number, you're going to do a knee recovery lateral hop, back down, throw the ball again. If it's an even number or whatever I said, the opposite of what I said, you'll do a knee recovery lateral hop the other direction. Just use your creativity for that, but make it so that there's a movement tied to picking up what's coming at you, like that. So there are a good, I don't know, half a dozen or more ways that you can work on your hand-eye training using stuff that you have at home anyway. Catchball you can order online. Their website, I think, is ProLab Sports. I think on Instagram they're ProLab.official or ProLabSports.official. I can double check that for you. On YouTube I'll put in a link. I'll put in the name of the moon ball and the lava ball and swivel vision. Remind me if I forget. But if you want those links, you can head over to YouTube. On Instagram, I can't put clickable links, so that's why it's over there. But can you see how all these things we've worked on today, even just the most basic catching with my glove on, is more specific to what I need to do compared to juggling. So it's like CrossFit. If you love CrossFit, do CrossFit. God bless you. Same with juggling. But if you're looking for ways, hey, I'm really serious about, you know, getting better with my glove hand, about not getting beaten glove side, then, you know, that's, You know what, that just actually made me think up a drill. So we talked about having your glove, this would be a bonus. We talked about having your glove in a bad position, but what about, you know, just having your glove moving, then you throw the ball and then you have to catch it. There's so many different things that you can do. You just have to use your creativity and ask yourself, does this make sense? So I hope that helps. I know it helps if you do the work. So spend like 5 to 10 minutes of it on it each day. Don't spend hours and hours, because we want to keep our nervous system fresh. It's nervous system training, so we don't want to fatigue. Start with something you're good at. Make a little sandwich. Start with ones you're good at. Then challenge yourself in the middle. That's the filling. That's the Genoa salami or whatever you put in your sandwich. And then the bottom slice of bread is going to be stuff you're good at again. So you're always going to finish on ones that are basic, that you're good, like 5, perfect reps. And then you're done. This is Maria from goalietrainingpro.com. That is Pro Goalie Habit number 8. I will see you tomorrow with Pro Goalie Habit number 9. Oh yeah, and it's about how some pro goalies manage to stay durable and injury resistant even though they're playing such a high level and such a high volume. That's what I have for you tomorrow with habit number 9. I will catch you then. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, blah, blah, blah. See ya.